You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
All right, Black and White Sports, we're going to talk about those Raiders. That's right. Oh, big game this weekend against the Chiefs. It's a big game for a few different reasons. Number one, we may have a little something strange added to the rivalry because we found out at some point, star tight end Travis KELCE, Taylor Swift's boyfriend, disrespected some Raiders fans. And he did so by literally dropping trowel, pulling down his pants, and mooning the heckling fans. Now, I'm going to be the first to tell you, you pay all that money, and for the most part, you should be able to say whatever in the hell you want to these players. I mean, fans heckling sports players is as old as any sport, okay? And frankly, I've priced NFL tickets this year. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I mean, it's jaw-dropping how expensive it's gotten. And it looks like this might have been from the Las Vegas visit, although we're not entirely sure. Was it this year? Was it last year? When was this? I mean, the Chiefs are a big enough division rival. We'll also take a glance, and I guess this is where we can start with the Raiders playoff picture because the NFL.com has updated this with the percentages now. And we looked at this for the Browns earlier, and I hate to break it to you if you're a Raiders fan, boy, you're very close to just being out. If you lose, you got less than a 1% chance of making the playoffs. You're currently sitting at a 2% chance, and if you win, it only goes up to 7%. Okay, so the playoffs, personally speaking, and I've talked about this, play out the season, Aiden O'Connell, see if he's your quarterback, and then go from there. Okay, and we're going to talk about an insider saying there may be a big reason, and there is a big reason why I think Antonio Pierce might end up getting the job, but beating the Chiefs would go a long way. Let's look at this. This is page 6 from the New York Post. It's a celebrity page. This is what Taylor Swift has done to Travis KELCE. He's regulated off the sports pages now over to the where they put all the like celebrity Hollywood gossip crap. That's where you're at, Travis. You go on Saturday Night Live, etc. So Travis KELCE cheekily moons Raiders fans heckling him during Chiefs games. I just don't see the point of having done this because you got kids there, yada yada yada, and you're dropping trout of your underwear. I don't think it's a great look. I mean, I'm not outraged by it, okay? I'm not overly offended by it. I just think, hey, maybe to quote my mom, that seems a little tacky. It seems a little tacky. It does. Travis KELCE had a cheeky response to rowdy Raiders fans after they started heckling him ahead of a Kansas City Chiefs game against the Las Vegas franchise. While KELCE, 34, was standing in the end zone during pregame warm-ups, several fans began yelling. We got some video. Mahomes is a frog. KELCE doesn't block. I mean, that's like no big deal. Instead of chirping back, KELCE took a different approach, pulling his pants down to moon the hecklers per a video on TikTok. Although the now viral clip cut off shortly after the gesture, KELCE seemingly turned to look at the crowd afterwards, yet it's unclear if any words were exchanged. So we don't know. There's the picture right there of him being in his drawers and mooning. There you go. You see it right here. At this time, it's unclear whether the incident happened ahead of the Chiefs' November 26th game against the Raiders or years prior. So they're not even sure if this was a couple of weeks ago when they played. If it was the November 26th game, oh my goodness, we can't do anything without mentioning Taylor wasn't there to catch the view despite now regularly attending her boyfriend's games. She got booed out of Gillette the other day. Just pointing that out. So let's turn the sound up on this and play this.
Yo, KELCE, you got a block. Oh, yeah.
Okay. There was. That was it. That was all there was to it. Was that one shot right there of KELCE mooning the players. So just a little something extra for this weekend. It's a big, big game. And Dan Graziano of ESPN, he talked about a little bit as to why. Look, there's some speculation that if Antonio Pierce can win this game against the Chiefs, against the division rival, it may seal him getting the job. There'll still be some T's to cross and some I's to dot, but they think he may get the job because it's beating a division rival and it's beating a playoff team, right? Right now, the Chiefs are 9-5. They sit in the third spot and, of course, lead the AFC West. This is what Graziano said, and it's got to do with points scored. Josh McDaniels versus Antonio Pierce. Of course, Josh McDaniels is in an unemployment line, probably eagerly awaiting whatever in the hell Bill Belichick's going to do. Most people believe he's going to be the OC for Belichick wherever he goes, provided he doesn't end up staying with the Patriots. Quote, the Raiders had scored 126 points in 8 games under McDaniels this season. Graziano wrote, and in 6 games under Antonio Pierce, they have scored 139 points. So they scored 13 more points in 2 less games. That's a big deal. Part of that has been turnovers and scores on defense. That's something to think about. J.R. Ewing is making an appearance. 2 years ago, when the Raiders rallied behind interim coach Rich Bisaccia to make the playoffs after John Gruden resigned, Raiders owner Mark Davis decided to hire McDaniels instead of keeping Bisaccia, whom the players wanted to stay. That memory is fresh in Davis's mind, and if the Raiders finish the season strong, he may decide he doesn't want to repeat that mistake. I think look, if I'm trying to put a percentage on this, honestly, I got to say there's like a 70% chance Antonio Pierce is getting this job. After the 2021 Raiders went 7-5 under Bisaccia to make a trip to the postseason, players such as then Las Vegas quarterback Derek Carr openly campaigned for Bisaccia to hold on to the top job through that winter. Las Vegas is 6-8 heading into a Christmas Day game. It's a big game on Christmas Day against the Chiefs. But ESPN Football Power Index showed as of Monday afternoon, the Raiders still have a 1% chance of making the playoffs. Quote, next year's Raiders have a lot of questions to answer, chief among them, who will play quarterback in the short term and hopefully the long term. But the defense has played especially well since Pierce became coach, and there's evidence to support the idea that the team has responded to him. Davis will surely do a full search, but Pierce has shown enough to deserve being part of it, and that's not out of the question. He could emerge the winner. And it also talks about that 63-point game, which also helped him a great deal because, well, it was on Thursday Night Football in prime time in front of everybody. So it went a long way. It did. I will say this. Michael Lombardi mentioned something, and I love that GM Shuffle podcast, and I understand there was ties there to the previous regime. I get that. But the one thing he did bring up, and I'm interested to know what Raiders fans think about this. He was like, you need to get a hot shot, big time, big name head coach. Because you're in a division now with 2 guys that have won Super Bowls. You got Andy Reid, multiple Super Bowls, and the Broncos are going to do nothing but get better under Sean Payton, who's also got a Super Bowl. And the idea is don't send somebody like Antonio Pierce in to have to regularly take on those kind of guys. Get somebody big. They brought up Harbaugh. I get it. If I was a team, no doubt Harbaugh would be my number 1 choice regardless. But except maybe with this Raiders team. Now, there's ties to Mark Davis. And I cannot imagine, because players that play for Harbaugh love Harbaugh. So I don't think they're just going to discount Harbaugh. It's not going to be like Josh McDaniels, because players naturally like Harbaugh and want to play hard for him. I mean, everybody hates Josh McDaniels. I mean, everybody does. Denver Bronco players, Raiders players, you get the point. I mean, God, I hate this word because I hate how it's used in some time. But he is like toxic football coaching, whatever. He's a nightmare. He's a green fog, Josh McDaniels. So I know a lot of Raiders fans want Antonio Pierce. Maybe some of it does depend on who is the alternative. But these players love this guy, and I would guess they want him to get the job. I mean, they at least play really hard for him, and the defense is really damn good under him. Yeah, I mean, that's one thing you got. This defense is really damn good. Tell me what you think. What do you think about Travis Kelce? Moon and Raiders fans. I don't know. It comes across as tacky, but I don't get outraged or offended easily either. So there's that. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.